Welcome to Crime and Cosmos, everybody. This is Elisa. So I wanted to talk about the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping, and there's a few things I've noticed, like when it came to the surveillance and Nancy's security, what some of the Bluetooth features could have had. Also, I want to talk about these three people that moved out of Nancy's neighborhood that I'm kind of concerned about still, and also I wanted to talk about the hidden cameras in the Arizona cactuses called the cacti. Also, I just wanted to mention some of these updated pictures from Patriot Pride, these high def pictures kind of show a lot. One is definitely that the kidnappers, which I think at least two or three were there at Nancy's house, locking her up, you know, keeping her under control, trying to, to get her tied up and get her out of there. I definitely think that they wanted to make sure. I don't think it was just one person. It makes no sense to be one person. And I do believe that the person on that camera now that you can see there's definitely a silicone mask underneath that baklava. It's obviously that's not a human face. You can see the silicone around the eyes. You can see how heavy they are over the eyes. And it makes a lot of sense now why everybody is matching up to this person. So, yeah, I think it was for show. I think it's a joke, but definitely interesting that we got to see some really different kind of features, even though we know those aren't the same colors that they were wearing. At least we could see the pictures in high def. So right on for Patriot Pride for that. So I want to go into this cacti. So Paradise City and other cities around Arizona have what's called the Cact Eye in the Sky. It's basically hidden cameras that they have for license recognition, Amber Alerts. Um, Also, they have it's just for like local officials to um, capture surveillance on a larger scale, kind of like for bigger things, and they're designed to surveil for authorities or like for Amber Alerts, for license recognition, blah blah blah. So I thought that was interesting. So I'm wondering, especially if they took certain routes, like near the Segura um, uh, reservation, for like the forest, the national forest. They definitely have them there, but also I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here. There are actually hidden cameras all over Arizona. I mean, really? We need to find this car that took Nancy Guthrie. So that route that Annie gave, that's funny. I'm sure she gave us a totally opposite route that no one would be familiarized to because they wanted to make sure no one goes along the place that there actually are cameras that can find the car. So I just thought that was funny that she even put that map out there. It was kind of like a joke. Also, Nancy's Bluetooth. If she had her heart pacemaker connected to her Bluetooth, it could be a gateway to access other devices. So if these perpetrators had hidden cameras on her property, they could connect it to her Bluetooth and be locked into and listening to her phone calls, her what she's watching online, anything, and it can actually look. It could be spoofed as something else, like her iPhone or her iWatch or her pacemaker. So if Nancy had an open Bluetooth and she didn't clear her pairing devices every once in a while, anybody could jump right in there and be connected to her Bluetooth. So they could be watching, listening at all times. Also, this lady found a hidden camera in Arizona in her cactus outside of her house, and her granddaughter found it. So let's not forget that these people were watching her, not only watching her every move, but they definitely probably had cameras on in that treehouse or in a cactus. Um, and I believe that these individuals that were staying at that house, there's a direct path to Nancy's backyard, and they have a lot of coverage. So anybody that can't doesn't want to be seen obviously doesn't want to park their car on the Catalina foothills streets, because everybody would notice that nobody parks on the streets in the Catalina foothills. They would stick out like a sore thumb. So I do believe that these individuals were staying there. They could walk the property and not look suspicious. They were close enough to get there, close enough to stage when she left, getting through a window, which is what I think they did, and hiding in a bathroom. The guest bathroom is what I think they did. I've had some, psychic abilities since I was a child, but I always try to block them out. So I'm not going to get into that right now. But Nancy has came to me, but that's for another show. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about this house that these individuals moved out, which is now blocked and blurred on Google Earth now. So no one can even look up. There's one YouTube video when the house was going to be sold in 2024 that you can actually see inside the house, and it's very nice, by the way. So why did they move out? These people? Why did they move out the day of? These three men, or if it's three men at all? I just think it's interesting. And the guys that moved out. Becca's True Tarot. I love that. I love her channel. So this is the neighbors. Okay, this is that walkway directly to Nancy's house from that house that we just showed you, the one that people moved out. And this is the neighbors on the left, or actually Nancy's right. And then there's a lot of cover there. Those cactuses and that brush goes up really high. So even on Google Earth, it looks like it's like so easy and walkable, and that but you can't see anything because there's so much high cactus in that bush, right? And then the neighbor on her left, which is the lady that I think she's a bisexual or a transgender. I forget the lady that lives in right next to Nancy's on her right. She has no windows or anything, nothing. Her house has not one window, so nobody really can watch these people going through the wash right to Nancy's house. So, I mean, how perfect is that? It couldn't have been more perfect. And if they had a hidden camera watching her every move, they would know when she leaves. Also, cyber stalking victims is very easy. I had it done to me. It was they were in my Wi-Fi. They were in my smart TV. They changed so many different things. And like one day, my daughter I heard a voice come out of my smart TV, and my daughter was like 4. I'm like, who are you talking to? Yeah, it was in my smart TV. They were in my Wi-Fi. It freaked me out. So I do believe that one, T and A are definitely involved, and I think that this practice run right here was probably to see if Nancy even got her alerts, so that they could check on, an app like Nextdoor. Hey, this person, was outside my house, or hey, Annie Tomaso, this person, or anybody. But Nancy, if she's being monitored, did not even notice that this person was there on January 11th. Hence, made it much easier for them to do what they needed to do that following weekend, which I do believe T and A are involved, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense why they haven't been around. It makes no sense why they just paid their property taxes all of a sudden. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad they haven't been working, but yet found the money to pay their property taxes. Oh, 4/29, 2026. That's nice. Or is that part of the boxes that he was taking out that day? Would that have some cash in it or some things for sale? Anyways, let's help to bring Nancy home and bring some peace to her family. Justice for Nancy. All right, Al. I'm out. Peace.